Welcome back to the class. Today we start the new topic, that is new chapter, atoms and molecules. You should know the difference between atom and molecule. See here I take some examples. This is atom of hydrogen, this is a helium atom symbol. Okay, helium atom, hydrogen atom. Now I am telling you, this is called molecule, this is called an atom. Okay, this is called an atom, this is called molecule, and this is called molecule. Okay, the lesson is atom and molecule, so you should know what is atom and what is molecule. Now what does it convey you? See here, this hydrogen is a one atom of hydrogen. This helium is a one atom of helium. But why is it called molecule? Because it exists in free state. It exists independently. Okay, but this hydrogen atom does not exist free state. Does not exist in free state. It always combine with another hydrogen. So, like this it combine. Okay, so the free state is called molecule. This is called molecule. H2 is a molecule. Whereas H is an atom. Why H is atom? It does not exist in freely. It does not exist freely. Does not exist independently. Okay, it always combined with other hydrogen atom. Generally all the gases except these noble gases. These noble gases, one atom only exists in free state. So all the noble gases we can say molecule. Neon. Neon is another noble gas. Only one atom can exist freely. This neon, only one atom is in free state. No need of anybody else. Okay, so it is called molecule. This atom is called molecule, whereas this atom is called not a molecule. Why? Another example, nitrogen. It is a gas. In this, this atmosphere, more than, what is the 78% of constituent of atmosphere is nitrogen gas. Okay, that is molecule. Here more than 78% of nitrogen is present. More than 78% of nitrogen is present. In what form? N2 form. Not one N does not exist freely. So N2, N2, N2. Everywhere you can see N2 together. N2 is a free state. So N2 is called molecule. What is called molecule? Free state. Which exists free state is called molecule. Now understood you? I think you are clear now. This is atom, whereas H2 is a molecule. Why? One hydrogen atom does not exist freely. Okay, two hydrogen atom together, combine together and form free state. So that is what it is called molecule. Molecule means free state. Or it exists independently. This hydrogen atom you cannot never see free state. It always combined with another hydrogen atom. Okay, this one hydrogen atom does not exist freely. So it is not a molecule, it is called atom. Understood? Now you know about, you are clear about this topic. Now next one is, the next topic is law of conservation of mass. You know, atom is a basic building material of a element, of a matter, any matter. Our body is made up of cells. So cell is a basic unit of our body or organism. The same way, this all non-living things, these all matters. What is the basic unit for this? Atoms or molecule we can say. Understood? Atoms or molecules are basic unit. And they combine to form, what is a compound? Chemical reaction occurs, you know. In the chemical reaction, to study the chemical reaction, you should know the two laws. One is law of constant conservation of mass. Second one is law of constant proportions. Okay, law of chemical combination. Okay, law of chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, there are two laws are necessary to learn in order to understand the chemical concept. Understood? What are the two laws? This is law of conservation of mass. Here law of constant proportions. Understood? Basically, law of chemical reaction or law of chemical combination consists of two laws. One is law of conservation of mass, the other one is law of constant proportion. Now let us study what is law of conservation of mass. What is second question? What is the law of conservation of mass? This law was put forward by Lavoisier. Who is that? Lavoisier. Okay, he is a chemist. He put forward the new law. What is the law? Law of conservation of what does it state? It states that mass of the reactants always equal to mass of the product. Mass of the reactant is always equal to mass of the product. For example, you are having two reactants. Okay, A one substance, B is another substance. You are going to combine these two. After combination, you will get the product, new product C, because it is a chemical reaction. We are learning about chemical properties. Two reactants, these are called reactants. Okay, these are called products. Understood? What does it say? The mass of the reactants is always equal to mass of the product. For example, you are having 60 gram of A and 20 gram of B. Okay, now you are going to combine together. A and B combined together. There is a chemical reaction is going to be occurred, and the new product you will get, that is C. And what might be the product mass? It will be 80. 60 plus 20 equal to 80 gram. Okay, what does it convey? Mass of the reactants is equal to mass of the product. Understood? Sometimes question can be asked. Okay, in a chemical reaction, A and B combine to form product C. The mass of the product C is 80 gram. Mass of the reactant A is 60 gram. What will be the mass of B? What will you do? 80 minus 60, you will get 20 gram. So anyway, question can be asked. Okay, what do you understand? Mass of the reactants always equal to mass of the product. Another one reaction I will give you. AgNO3 react with HCl. This is one reactant, this is another reactant. And when you combine these two together, you will get new product, that is HNO3 plus AgCl. Okay, this is a precipitate you will get. Precipitate means the compound will be settled down at the base of the solution. These are solution form, and you will get new precipitate, that is AgCl one product. Understood? Now question is, these are called reactants. Its mass is 100 gram, suppose. Okay, what might be the mass of this product? It also 100 gram. Okay, it is proved experimentally. So what do you understand? Mass of the reactants always equal to mass of the product. Okay, which law convey you this statement? Law of conservation of mass. What is law of conservation of mass? Mass of the reactants always equal to mass of the product. Mass neither be created nor be destroyed. Okay, same quantity is there. Nothing is destroyed, nothing is extra. Okay, what do you understand? Mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. Now let us move to next question. That is second law, law of constant proportion. What is the second law? Law of constant proportion. Okay, who put forward? Joseph Proust. He put forward this law. Okay, what does it says? This law states that the mass of the constituent elements. I will tell you with the example, then I will tell you the definition. First I will explain with the example. For example, you take the example water. Water is a compound because this molecule, free state, okay? This molecule consists of more than one kind of atom. One is hydrogen, the other one is oxygen. So more than one kind of atom, then we can say it is a compound. It is a compound. This compound is made up of two different elements or two different atoms, that is hydrogen and oxygen. This compound is made up of different constituent elements, that is hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. Now its mass. Now I am going to find the mass of its constituent element. Who is the constituent element here? Two elements are there, hydrogen and oxygen. What is the mass of here hydrogen? 2 units. 2 atomic mass unit. 1 hydrogen mass is 1 unit. 1 AMU. That means we used to measure the mass of this object in kg or gram. But if we cannot measure the atom's mass in gram, we measure with what is the unit? AMU, atomic mass unit or unified mass. Okay, don't write meter or kilogram or whatever it may be. 1 hydrogen mass is 1 U, 1 atomic mass. And 2 hydrogen, here 2 hydrogen atoms are there, so 2. What is the mass of hydrogen here? 2. And only 1 oxygen. Its weight is 16. 16 U. Okay, what is U? Unit of atom. Okay, mass we measure in, what is that? This object we measure in kg or whatever it may be, unit is there. And here what will you use? Unit. Unified mass. What unit you use? Unified mass. U. Otherwise AMU. Either U or AMU. Atomic mass unit. Okay, what is the mass of oxygen? 16 U. Now take out the ratio. 1 is 8. 1 is 8. Understood? The compound is made from two different elements. Water constituent elements are hydrogen and oxygen. What is its mass? The ratio, mass ratio is 1 is 8. Now this water is taken from your house. Now another water I am taking from my house. Maybe it was supplied from Hindalco company, supplied to you, that water. This is underground water. Okay, this H2O. Here also you find its constant element mass is 2 hydrogen, 2 is 16, the ratio is 1 is 8. It is fixed. Maybe the compound source, that means this source of water is from the dam, Rehan dam, whatever it may be. Here this source of water is from underground. So sources may be varied, but its constant elements mass remain fixed. 1 is 8 by mass. Another example I will tell you. Second example is carbon dioxide. I am taking calcium carbonate and I am going to burn carbon. Burn means addition of oxygen. You will get here carbon dioxide, here metal carbonate on heating, metal oxide, carbon dioxide. You got carbon dioxide from two different sources. One is from carbon, one is from calcium carbonate. Okay, sources are different. And now this compound is made from two different constituent elements, that is carbon and oxygen. And what is the mass of those elements? Each carbon mass is 12 U, unified mass, and each oxygen weight is 16. Here you are having 2 oxygen, so 32. Okay, 32 atomic mass unit. The same way this carbon dioxide also. The mass of carbon is 12 and oxygen is 32. 1 oxygen you are having 16 and 2 oxygen you are having 32. Okay, unit is U. that we study further. So find out the ratio. Okay, here also 3:8. Am I correct? Okay. So what do you understand? Sources may be different, but its constant elements mass remain fixed. Constant elements remain, mass remain fixed. These compound sources are varied. This carbon dioxide is made from carbon. This carbon dioxide is produced from calcium carbonate. Sources are different, but it constant elements having fixed mass. Here also having the mass ratio is 3:8. Here also having the ratio of carbon and oxygen is 3:8. So this is the law of constant. It remains constant, constant proportion. Okay, what is law of constant proportions? The compounds are made up of its constant elements, and the mass of these constant elements remain fixed. That is a constant by mass. The mass of its constant elements remain fixed, but the compound sources may be varied. Now understood? That's our today's topic. Read the topic well. Thank you.